Today we're going to talk about painting, traveling, and what to bring on your next vacation.
Hi everyone. So today I want to talk about some things I use when I'm traveling and painting. And I'm going to go over a new small watercolor travel set that I picked up when I was recently in Italy, and I'm going to swatch it, and then I'm going to show you some things that I painted when I was traveling, and also do a really quick demo with the new paints that I picked up. And I hope you enjoy this video. If so, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, as it really helps my channel grow, and I really do appreciate it so much.
So I'm going to be mixing my colors, and these older buildings are all made of stucco on the outside. Inside, they're just absolutely built to last forever. Stone staircases, everything is terrazzo floors. Absolutely huge, beautiful wooden beamed ceilings, just gorgeous inside. So they're just built to last for centuries. Nothing is going to fall apart in 50 years. So the outsides are covered with stucco, and in some places they remove it and reveal the old brick. It's just the buildings are beautiful. So here I'm just kind of mixing some of these earth tones with a little bit of white. They all seem to be painted over the stucco with kind of creamy or light colors into like sienna colors. So all these earth tones are used in the old parts of the city in Lucca, and that's where this building is. So I'm going ahead with yellow ochre and a little bit of the white, and making kind of a creamy, buttercreamy color on the outside here, and going over this whole building. And when I go into the other building, I think I added a little bit more of the creamier cadmium yellow into the second building. And then I'm mixing all these with a little bit of white just to make them more creamy and light. Because sometimes the other colors have just a little bit too much chroma. So the tints kind of soften them a little bit. And so this style of painting is, more of an urban sketching style. It's not really my regular way of painting, but it's kind of more of a way to document, when I'm out traveling. So it's kind of a fun, kind of more cartoony way that I'm kind of doing some pictures from where I've been, and it's, I don't know. It's something I'm playing with and experimenting with. It's been kind of fun to do these, and just something I'm fooling around with. Some of the other paintings I'll show later are more in my regular style of painting, but I've kind of enjoyed doing some of these little street scenes and documenting the buildings with the micron pens and the watercolor, because it's kind of more. I kind of wanted to start doing more like urban sketching type street scenes when I'm, out and about in places, and, see where that leads me. Just to do like travelogues and things like that. So now I'm just continuing to work these other areas. I created a little bit of a dark green shade using the Viridian and some of that dark neutral tone that I made earlier when I created the black using the alizarin crimson and the viridian together. So I just added more of the green into that and created a dark green shade, or a shade of that dark green. And so a lot of the buildings have these dark green shutters and the creamy color paint on the building themselves, anywhere from a cream to a sienna color. And so in the old portions of the cities, like in Florence and in Lucca, you'll see buildings that are very similarly painted in the old parts of these cities. Pisa is the same, and some of these older buildings, it's very common to see this color scheme on the buildings. It's very very Italian to have these these lovely colors. And sometimes you'll see colors even into pinks, which is really stunning. When you'll occasionally see a beautiful pink building in with all the other cream colored buildings, and that they just kind of stand out among the other ones. And yeah, it's really a beautiful place to visit if you ever have the opportunity to do so. I just love seeing all the different colors of the buildings, and so they're really fun to paint. It's all my favorite colors all together, so I think I get excited about that. So here I'm adding more of the sap green and coloring, the plant life, because there was some big plants and arbors over the doors where I stayed, which were really beautiful. I'm really going to say a few things about this particular watercolor set, which I really am enjoying. I love the vibrancy of the colors. The other thing is I have had Cotman before, and I will tell you that they are a really good value, because even though they are a lower price point than some of the Winsor Newton watercolors, they're an extremely good value, because they're not a watercolor product that you're going to go through really quickly. They are very substantial. They last a very long time. Even if you're going to use them a lot, they are not the kind of watercolors that you're going to go to the bottom of the pan immediately. These will last a very, very long time, so they are an extremely good value. I have a much, much larger set than this that I've had probably for 7 or 8 years in heavy use, and they are still maybe half full on the half pan. So I bring my watercolors everywhere. I bring them to classes, and I take them on vacations with me, and so I know that this particular line of products is a very good value, and I can't recommend them highly enough. The other thing I like to do is just to bring 1 or 2 pencils with me. I brought 3 when I went this time. So I brought, now when I used to travel more locally, I would bring, colored pencils. Maybe I would bring some Neo colors with me. But when you're traveling abroad, you really can't bring as much. So I've got it down to 3 pencils. I brought a 2B, an HB, and I brought a Stabilo pencil, because that's a water-soluble graphite pencil, which are really fun to bring. All right, so, you want something that you can just do a regular sketch with. Maybe just capture some of the things you see. You maybe take some drawings in a museum. what did you see? Perhaps some, you visited and you liked some of the pottery you saw, or, you know, maybe you could get back to your room and capture some of those artifacts that you saw in a museum or something like that. And, you want to maybe do some quick sketches of other things that maybe piqued your interest, and, you know, what the things that really captured your eye when you were out and about, exploring the city, or wherever it is that you're visiting. You want to be able to say, oh, you know, you want your photographs or your sketchbook to relate that information and say, oh, I remember being there and seeing this. So I really want to talk about Stabilo pencils and why I love them so much for drawing and travel. They are really versatile. It's a regular graphite pencil that is water soluble. So you can draw very light and sketch out your idea, and then later go back and dip it into water and get really beautiful painterly effects with this. So you can do your regular mark making. You can build up very dark values to light values with these. And as you're working in your sketchbook, it's very easy to control the amount of water and how you're building your marks. It's different than painting because you still have the control of the pencil and your ability to create different types of marks more easily because you have a drawing tool, but yet you're getting those really fluid painterly effects as well. This also comes in a full line of color pencils, which are quite a bit different than regular color pencils. Stabilo is its own thing. It's called Stabilo Marks All. So they do write on all kinds of different surfaces, even shiny surfaces. I can't recommend them enough. I really love this brand, and the only thing I don't recommend the graphite ones for is painting and underpainting, because it will move when you paint over it and could cause a little bit of muddiness. So I like them as a standalone in my sketchbook, and I love them for travel because it just gives me one other option if I want to do a black and white study. And I will link in the description below to where you can purchase them. So I also brought along some of these Micron pens, which this is a little set I picked up on Amazon, and they weren't very expensive, and they came in different tips and thicknesses of tips, and these were not a name brand, so very inexpensive. They were under $10, and I will link in the description box. This is Chotun Micron pen. And one of the tips, let me see which one it is a brush tip, which I really loved because it has kind of a, a thick to thin little pen that you can kind of get really interesting thick to thin marks with, and really get interesting shapes, and it makes beautiful marks. So you can do some really interesting things with it. The other ones are just like traditional Micron pens in the various sizes, from the really fine, very fine drawing tip. This is the finest one, out to, I think, let's see what's the thickest one. I think This is the thickest one. And then this is the thickest drawing tip, besides the brush tip. And so you can do all kinds of things with these. I think they're just beautiful. And, you know, we can just explore and really draw with them. You know, this is about having a good time. And I think a lot of times, rather than getting too overwhelmed with like capturing every last detail, you should just, you know, take some simple shots and work from your photographs when you get back to your hotel. If you don't want to draw, you know, on the actual draw on the street or anything, just have some fun and go out and enjoy your day. Take some photographs while you're walking around in your destination, and when you get back to your room, if you have a little time, you know, just draw in your sketchbook, or, you know, if you brought one of these pads like I did, and, you know, just add to it when you get back. And if you have time, you know, pop some color into these line drawings. You can really have fun with this. So I just wanted to share a couple of the paintings based on some of the photographs I took when I was in Italy. This is just based on one of the pictures I took in the botanical garden in Lucca, Italy. I was really surprised at how much was still growing and blooming. There was flowers, roses, all kinds of plants still blooming. It's really shocking that things were blooming in January. And then I came home to snow in Connecticut in the United States. So yeah, it would be a lot less depressing to go through the winter with flowers, that's for sure. So this is one that I did that was a little larger, and then some of the other ones that I did were smaller, and I have more going, and I'll post on my community page really shortly. Here's one from a bush that was like blooming. Again, just really surprised and shocked that so much is still going on flower wise, but I really loved this particular red and bright yellow bush that was still in full bloom. There was so many roses too. I was just surprised at the roses. And then this, I kept seeing this, I don't know if he was stray, but I kept seeing this kitty cat, and this cat was in the botanical garden when I was taking pictures. He might have just snuck in, I'm not sure. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please hit like, share, and subscribe to this channel, because it really helps my channel grow, and I do really appreciate it so very much. Thanks for being here, and please come again soon.